It's June 1995 in Oslo, Norway. The city is bright with long summer light, the kind that lingers late into the evening. Inside the Oslo Plaza Hotel, a sleek, modern high-rise overlooking the city, a woman checks in alone. She gives a name, an address, and a country of origin. All of it false. 3 days later, she's found dead in her room from a gunshot wound. The door is double locked from the inside. There's no ID, no passport, no wallet, and every label has been cut out of her clothing. Hey, coworkers.
Welcome to Coworkers in Crime, the podcast where office chatter meets crime discussion.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Crystal.
Yes, we really do work together.
And yes, we're totally obsessed with true crime.
From water cooler whispers to cold case deep dives,
we're here to bring you stories that keep us chatting way past our coffee breaks.
So grab your coffee,
lock your desk drawer, and let's get into this week's case. Color me intrigued. I am so ready to hear about this case. Everything about the last one, the labels cut out, you know how I felt about that. So I'm ready. Let's go. I've done a very good job not to dig through this. So let's hear about it.
So you remember how we ended our last episode? There was another woman in Norway 25 years earlier at the Isdal case, and she was found under eerily similar circumstances.
Oh, yeah, I remember. It's the lack of labels, the lack of ID, the secrecy. I'm so ready.
And if you haven't listened to last week's episode, we recommend that you pause this one, go back 1 week, and listen to the Isdal Woman.
Oh, I don't recommend. I demand. Stop listening and go back and listen to the other one because that will make you want to listen to this one all the more.
According to reporting from VG, one of Norway's major newspapers, the woman checked into the Oslo Plaza Hotel on June 3rd, 1995. She used the name Jennifer Fairgate, sometimes spelled Fergate in police documents, and she claimed to be from Belgium.
But the address you said she gave didn't exist, or was it not correct?
It didn't exist, correct. Belgian authorities later confirmed to NRK that the address was fake, and no one with her name or birth date existed in their records.
So from the moment she walked in the hotel, she was already a ghost.
Exactly. And here's the part that still confuses investigators, and the part that tripped me up. I think I mentioned in a previous episode, I used to work in a hotel.
Yeah.
And you couldn't check in without a credit card. Have you checked into a hotel without presenting your credit card?
No. But I also don't carry cash. So in my mind, I wouldn't know if you could do that or not because I don't carry cash because I will lose it immediately when you hand me cash. I lose it.
So she checked in without a credit card, which was unusual even in 1995. But the hotel accepted it because she appeared confident and well-dressed.
That confidence is interesting. It reminds me of the Isdal Woman, someone who knows how to move through the world without raising suspicion, who's well trained to do so in her case. I don't know enough about this case that you're telling me just in the little bit we've talked about so far to know if this person was trained or not. The other one, as you told me about her, I was like, this feels like someone who her identity, lack of identity was not an accident. It was something she was trying to make happen.
So over the next 70 hours, her behavior was controlled. According to the NRK's documentary, Death in Oslo, she barely left her room. She ordered room service once, but didn't eat much, and she interacted with almost no one. Even though when she checked in listing a man named Louis Fairgate as her companion. But the hotel staff never saw him. Police said they had no evidence he even existed.
So either she made him up, like the address, or someone was there and slipped in unnoticed. And I guess was there cameras and things back then? I don't know.
1995? Probably not in the hallways of hotels and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. That'd be a good question. There's
so
your rabbit hole to start going down.
I will. I will. Yeah. So she must have just invented him, or he got in and out real quick.
And the hotel key card logs were incomplete, which that surprised me because I was like, 1995, weren't they still giving out physical keys to open doors? Or were there
because I think inside job. I think inside job. Someone's in on it. That's what I think.
So we don't know who entered or left the room, which is strange at the very least.
I'll say.
And then it gets more bizarre, as if it wasn't strange enough. On June 5th, hotel staff tried to deliver a message to her room. No answer. Later that evening, a security guard went to check again. He heard a loud noise, like a gunshot, from inside the room.
So he was right outside the door when it happened?
Yes. When the security entered the room minutes later, they found her lying on the bed, dead from a single gunshot wound to the forehead, and the gun was in her hand.
Hmm. I don't know. If you the logs were inconsistent. He is happening by her room and hears a noise. Is he Louis Fairgate? Like that? What do you mean? He just? I don't know. I know that sounds like a suicide, but it's not that simple. There's no. It's not. There's no way.
No, not at all. And, I think we've seen, you and I have been reading different cases for so long that I think when they say one thing, we're always like, was it?
Was
Was
it
it
though?
really?
Is
Yeah.
it?
So
I
same
like how
here.
that
Like,
it ends up being said in one of those bless your heart voices. Is it
yes.
though? Was it though?
And it's not that simple. According to the Aftenposten, there were no fingerprints on the gun. Yep, that's right. You heard me. No fingerprints on the gun. Not hers, not someone else's. And there was no trace of gunshot residue on her hands.
So that rules out suicide. So that makes it hard to believe. Well, it doesn't even make it hard to believe. That makes it impossible that she fired that gun because if you just shot yourself, there's no way you're wiping down the gun before you pass. Someone else wiped that down. I
And
vote security guard.
remember that the door was double locked from the
Ah,
inside.
no, I forgot that part too. Very weird. This
That just,
feels like Ellen a bit,
it does. He
doesn't it?
locked from the inside.
Like, which floor is this hotel? You said it was a high rise. Do we know the floor this was on?
I don't. I don't know.
Fine. Okay, tell me more. I'm so frustrated. Double locked from the inside isn't even something I thought about, but I did feel. Well, what? Hang on. It was double locked when this, according to who? This security guard? Like, is he the one who says it was double locked? Because I don't believe you, Lewis, whatever your name is. I don't believe you. Oh, that's so weird.
You're killing me. Okay. Oh, I found it. She was on the 28th floor,
Ah, okay.
specifically room 2805. And the 28th floor was part of the hotel's quote unquote business level, which had restricted elevator access, fewer guests, higher security. So that could explain why he was outside, and rooms often used by international travelers, diplomats, and business people.
I don't know. You wouldn't like me as an investigator because I would have made that security guard's life miserable. I would have been like, yeah, there's limited access up here, buddy. You just happen to be like, okay, fine. He's up there because he's guarding. I don't know. That just all sounds very weird to me. I hate to just say this guy is my prime suspect, but in my mind, I am really looking at him. Ugh, so let's talk about this identity issue because this is where the parallels are really strong. It's the identity, the labels cut. Tell me more about that because I'm going to get hung up on that double lock and the no fingerprints if you don't move if you don't move me past it with force.
Right. So now we're going to tie back into last week's episode of the Isdal Woman. And
Okay.
this is where, to me, this is just, I can't, coincidence doesn't seem like it would fit here, but it is 25 years apart. So here we go. Ready? When the police searched her belongings, they found no passport, no wallet, no ID, no personal photos. This one trips me up a little bit. No toiletries and no extra clothing. And just like the Isdal woman, the clothing that she did have, all the labels are cut out. I'm just going to let that sit for a minute. This was all confirmed by NRK and VG.
Yeah, that's not something you do accidentally. That's deliberate. Like cutting, like every label cut out is, again, it's something you do on purpose.
I wonder if that's in the training though. Like if you're a spy, do you cut all the labels out of your clothes?
If I start looking up how to be a CIA spy, I'm really going to be in trouble with, if I ever get in trouble for something, they'll be like, number one, she's nuts. She's always looking up interrogations. And why is she trying to be a CIA spy? But I do want to know because what why would someone cut all the labels out of all of their clothes?
And again, 25 years apart.
It couldn't be
So,
more like the fact that that's what I kept bringing up is it's weird to me that they don't have labels in their clothes. That's the first thing I said about the other case, and it really trips me up in this one too. It's very weird.
right. Not that, so I don't think anything this woman or the other woman did was accidental. I think everything is deliberate. There's a
Mhm.
reason for everything.
Even this one, you think that?
Yeah, I think there's we don't know the reason, but I think there's a
Mhm.
reason.
Okay.
And the Belgian authorities told NRK that her accent didn't match the region she claimed to be from. She spoke English and German, but not French or Flemish, which would be expected for someone from Belgium.
So she's using a false identity. This is exasperating me. I'm getting so curious. Okay, so she's I'm sorry to use so much force in my breath, but she's using a false identity. She's speaking languages that don't match her story she's telling, and she's carrying almost nothing personal with her.
Exactly. And I think she's intentionally being untraceable. And I also think I'm going to start getting text messages in the wee hours of the morning from you because you've gone down a rabbit hole on this one.
If you don't already have me silenced on your phone, that's your fault. So what about fingerprints? Did they find anything in the room? You said not on the gun, but are there fingerprints on her things anywhere, like CODIS? Do they have a CODIS over there?
You're not going to like me when I tell you this next part at all.
Impossible. Let's try.
Oh, I'm pretty sure. They found her fingerprints and they ran them through international databases, including Interpol, and there were no matches.
No matches. Like, um, so she wasn't in any criminal or immigration. Like, if you're, they fingerprint you for immigration, right? When you
Yes. Hmm.
don't they? Like, so if she's traveling that way, they would have to have it somewhere.
Right.
I mean, I can
I would think
understand
so.
not CODIS, not criminal, because I mean she's very elusive. So even if she did something, they didn't catch her. That's crazy to me. It's wild.
Oh, wait, it gets better.
Yay.
Hold your hat. And the gun she supposedly used had its serial number filed off, of course.
Mhm.
Police, though, were able to trace it to a batch of illegal weapons circulating in Europe in the 1990s, but they couldn't trace it to a specific owner. I wished we had video because your face right then was priceless.
Well, because I'm kind of like it. You just watched my brain split because I'm thinking, okay, had the serial number filed off. That sounds like it was planted. I don't. I really genuinely don't think she. I'm trying to think of a world of why she would. This would be self harm. Why she would have committed suicide. Why would that be? And I mean, I'm not even talking like emotionally why she would do that. I'm saying if you're going to do it and you're an unknown person as it is, why would you do it in a hotel unless you're just trying to leave brain busters for people like us later in life? One. Two, I want to know about this illegal circulation of guns in Europe in the 90s now, So my brain was like, which one do I think about first? Why someone would do this to themselves and bring a gun that's been filed down when we already can identify you, which may be okay, fine. You don't want us to even find out where this gun came from. But also, what illegal batch of weapons?
I feel like that might be a bonus episode at some point that we have
Yeah,
to go dig through.
the history
When you're
of
doing your 2
illegal
a.m.
weapons.
your 2 a.m. deep dive,
Yeah,
you can look that one up.
the Europe gun
So,
run of the 90s.
yeah. So let's walk through the theories, just like we did with the Isdal woman. We have the three main theories, like we did with her: suicide, murder, and espionage. Suicide. Police initially ruled this a suicide, but the lack of fingerprints, the lack of gunshot residue, and the erased identity make this unlikely.
And I want to ask you something because this is what happened with Ellen. They called it that, even though to me, the common sense thread says it's not. And I don't think that investigators don't have common sense. So when I err on the side of they know what they're doing, how would Norway and the States have training that aligns with calling this a suicide when it's how do you wipe down fingerprints on a gun after you take your own life and you wash your hands to get gunpowder off? So I'm curious how you could ever rule it that. I understand considering it, but ruling it that is very crazy to me.
And I'm wondering but when they say initially, if they just mean like right then and there at the scene before they looked at anything else, before they were like, is there
Oh,
gunshot
okay,
residue? Like
fair.
maybe
Yeah,
they were
fair.
like walked in and went, gun in hand, gunshot, this is a suicide. Like
I'm
maybe
thinking
that's what,
Ellen, they put that out there. That was what it was. So ruled initially is fair. Okay, that's
yeah.
fair. The lack of fingerprints, you said that. So, okay.
So then our second theory is murder. Many investigators, including those interviewed by VG, believe she was killed and the scene was staged to look like a suicide.
Uh-huh.
But again, the double locked door on the 28th floor. how do you get out? Unless there was a connecting door. And boy, we can go down a rabbit hole with this. So I'm going to leave that right there. And on that note, and we're going to move on to the third potential theory, which is espionage. And this theory gets the most attention. Her behavior, her erased identity, the fake name, the lack of personal belongings. It all fits patterns seen in intelligence work. NRK's reporting notes that the 1990s were a transitional period for European intelligence agencies, with old Cold War networks still active, which just reading that out loud
Mhm.
and saying it I don't know, like Cold War, that seems so foreign to me, like
I
to
know.
hear Cold War and
Mhm.
intelligence agencies and, all that stuff. But I mean, I know
Prefaced
it's
with the
still there.
90s, because yeah,
Yeah,
prefaced with the 90s because it seems out of place, but it was right in line, but, that to me, again, it's my brain splitting into 2 pieces here, but that makes sense because that's what we heard in the Isdal Woman case, because it was similar whispers of espionage, and that particular, transitional period, it fits. That fits to me.
it does.
All right, so I want to talk about the parallels that are hard to ignore here and the mind blowing information that you've given to me. So let's talk about the parallels. They're really difficult to just blow past.
They are. And I keep coming back to, I know the cases are 25 years apart,
Mhm.
but I don't know. They just seem, I don't know where I land on this one, I think is the problem. Like these two, like, are they related? Are they not related? I don't know. It's 25 years. That seems like a really long time to be dormant, but I
I
don't
feel
know.
like when it comes to the crime world, immediately believe first there are no coincidences. I feel like you should go off of, until you can rule out that it's a by saying, nope, just a coincidence, you have to imagine that it's like that for a reason. I don't go to coincidence hardly ever when I think with my crime mind. like I have a crime mind. But I don't do that. I don't think coincidence almost ever when I think about cases.
So first we have the identity erasure. Both women removed labels from their clothing, both used false names, and both carried no ID.
Yeah, and controlled behavior. Both were described as formal, guarded, watch like you could almost take what people around that were questioned said about their behavior, and it sounds like they're talking about the same person. They both traveled alone. They avoided personal interaction. That's super similar.
And then their death scenes are suspicious. The Isdal woman, she's burned, she's drugged, and she's in a remote location. The Plaza woman, there's a gunshot wound, no fingerprints, and a stage scene.
The investigative limitation from then, I feel, is similar too. I mean, you have in the 70s limited forensics, no DNA. And then in 95, we have incomplete key card logs and the limited international cooperation. I don't know if it's necessarily cooperation or information lack. I don't know how to best word that, but those limitations I feel keep it cold, if that makes sense. And maybe it's intentionally kept cold because if back in the first one when I thought CIA is immediately tinging in my head, that might be part of the restriction here. And oh, we'll just limit that. Like you just won't know. So then we can't connect the pieces.
Yeah, and I think the final one is Norway's geopolitical context. So both cases occur during periods of intense
Hmm.
intelligence activity in Europe.
Right.
NRK and the BBC both report noting that Norway's military and intelligence infrastructure made it a strategic location.
So while there's no evidence the cases are directly connected, the patterns are just too striking to ignore. They're really too close.
Exactly. They may not be linked by a person or organization, but they are definitely linked by a theme. Women who move through the world intentionally untraceable and died that same way.
Yeah, thank you for bringing me these. I mean, we have 2 women, 2 decades, 2 mysteries, and I'm sure that still haunts people in Norway. I would be like, honestly, I would be looking at every person that was formally dressed and kinda to themselves and be like, "Are you CIA?" That's what I would think if I lived in Norway, because to me, these women work for an intelligence organization. Like, that is where my brain goes, and I think someone's taking them out because either they were found out or with whatever it was they were working, or their own agency took them out because they knew too much and were start I don't know, who knows, but yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, and I think what at the end of both these cases, after looking at them, it's how easy it can be to disappear if
Mhm.
you really want to, and also how hard it is to find the truth when someone doesn't want to be found. Again, both these women had families, I would assume. Maybe they're not. Maybe they didn't have families, and that made them ideal candidates for the intelligence community. Like, if you don't have family, if you go missing, no one's going to report you missing.
No, no, and because I know, like, we get listeners from all over. I don't know if you've noticed that when you're looking through the listener file, but especially when we talk about something somewhere, I always tag the location in the area it was done, and we get listeners in those areas. So if you are listening from Norway, email us, coworkers.crimepodcast@gmail.com. Look in the show notes. You can just link it easily. But I'm curious if these stories are a dime a dozen. Let's blow Crystal's mind completely and tell you about all the cases. And interestingly enough, I just yesterday thought about your hotel history where you were talking about how you just knock if the door is
Yeah, the
jar
safety latches. Yeah.
yeah, if the safety latch is on because, I travel a lot and I was thinking about sometimes I will, like, leave that open and just run and grab ice and come right back, and that's very dangerous. Anyhow, okay, sorry. I got spaced out. We both went kind of into another
We
thought
did
process.
because I was like, "What where else can is this story gonna go?" I'll be interested to see if anyone from Norway sends us more cases like, "Look at this one, look at this one."
I really like so far that in this endeavor where you and I have been putting these out, some of the cases that I would have never run into that people send us, the one in Nebraska, and I'm sure you didn't even get a chance to look at it yet, but it's a very interesting case. I've gotten some from Louisiana, which I don't know why I slept on Louisiana, being that I'm from there, that I was born and raised there. Get ready for the alligators, people, because we're going down Alligator Valley down there at some point. So, yeah, one of my good friends, Kevin, was like, "Hey, have you even thought about Louisiana?" And I was like, "What is wrong with me? No, I need to be. There's plenty of things out there that are just
I think
crazy."
that's the
So,
part that makes me nervous is, do I really want to investigate cases from New England?
mhm.
Because I think of New England in a little bubble. It's very safe here. Again, I
Mhm.
live in a little bubble, so um I know it's not. I know the real world is not, all sunshine and roses, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to
It's
know all the dark history about New England or the criminal underworld
yeah.
that may or may not exist like in this area.
Well, it's hard to think of the world as shiny when this is what we do, you know? A cold case is one thing. A cold, dark case that no one's looking at has not been brought back into the light in a while. I feel that's the purpose we serve. That's the purpose that you and I are doing this for. We do it, as a
Passion.
passion and as
Yeah.
something that we enjoy bringing things back for others to think about. Someone's going to think, have we talked to blank? One day that could happen, and just the thought that could happen makes it all worth it. But
Right, because, like, the first case, Isdal Woman, I mean, that's, what,
mhm,
55 years ago?
yeah.
Maybe there's someone who knows something and couldn't say anything for years, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, hey, I knew blah, blah, blah," and it
Or
reignites the
says,
investigation.
"When my grandfather passed, he mentioned he had a sister that worked in the CIA that no one saw again, and maybe we follow that family tree and see if there's a sibling somewhere missing." I mean, there's such little things that seem like nothing burgers that turn out to be something burgers, I guess. But when it comes so close to your home, it's very jarring. So yeah, I understand not wanting to know much about New England area and me avoiding Louisiana. Yeah, I get that.
Right? Exactly.
Stories are emotional, and my husband just asked me, "Do you have any part of you that goes, I don't know if I want to do this today?" And I'm like, "No, I love doing this. Never get where I'm like, oh no, we have to record. I'm always very ready to do this. Emotionally, it does take its toll a bit because you can't not think about those things. I think about faith often. I didn't know that case till you brought it to me. I think about Samantha Folsom Turner. And when are they going to finally start opening the door to some of the things I know they know about her? I don't think her family's wrong in the speculations they've put out there. We don't like to highlight those, but it's very fair for her family to do that. They spend their lives doing this. So, yeah, I think that emotionally it sticks with you, it stays with you.
Yes, I think for me, like recording these or watching true crime shows or whatever the case may be, I always after a while I'm like, all right, I need to go put on like the happy love story. I know how it's going to end, that whole bit, or a cartoon. I
Hmm.
have to I call it my brain cleanse because you need it, because
Yeah.
otherwise, it could get to be a real dark, scary place inside my brain after a while.
Hmm.
Oh, but these were good. I liked these, and I really liked that they may or where do you land? Do you think they're connected, or do you think it's just a coincidence that there's these two semi-similar cases in the same country?
I think they are connected, but I don't think they're connected as in the same person did this to both of them. I think they're connected in that they're from the same agency, and this is a practice that agency um, implores. I don't know if that's the right word, but this is something that this agency that they both happen to be a part of trains them this way to cut all their labeling out of the clothes or whatever, or the person that took them out is from the same agency. You know what I'm saying? I'm 99% confident it's connected somehow.
Mm. I think they're
You know?
connected somehow. I just don't, like you said, I don't know how, but I feel
Hmm.
like it's too big of a coincidence to
Yeah.
not be somewhat connected, but maybe one day we'll find out. Who knows?
Hey, I just thought of this. Do you know what the score is for Run Club and Lego Man? Like, I think Lego Man had one, but Run Club might have just gotten two
Oh, he got, I
points.
think,
And
yeah. Yeah.
because he was downloading, he was listening, and asked me if he has dumb face. So we know he went back and listened to.
And he said Wikipedia is bad.
So he definitely
Yeah.
listened to quite a few. He referenced a couple cases that I know he listened to. So we know he was listening to the Walsh one where we were in one of our water cooler whispers, and probably our orientation, because I think that's where we mentioned that other part. So yeah, I think we're gonna have to give Run Club 2, Lego Man 1. Yeah. So okay, I just had to make sure that we put their score out there somewhere because it's been a minute since we put the tally out, but we'll come back to it. We'll make sure their tallies are in.
And we did
Um,
invite, because Lego Man did give us some case suggestions.
oh yeah.
And when we asked if they wanted to be our guest coworker, it was very non-committal, I feel.
Yeah, it was because he wants to take me on a tour there first so that when we do talk about it, we have some real connection. Let's give him a half point. So we'll say 1.5 Lego Man, 2 for Run Club, and then he can have the remaining point. He can come back and collect the remaining point when he's more committal on. And then we're going to see the fight we get on this. I love starting trouble via podcast at work.
And especially since this is at the end, we'll know if they listen all the way through.
Yeah, we do know that 85% of our listeners listen to us all the way to the end. Maybe they like our frazzledness. Who knows?
Maybe.
But, well, thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Rachel, for bringing them.
Until next time, coworkers.
See you next Wednesday.
That wraps up this week's episode.
Thanks for listening, whether you're at your office, at your home, or somewhere in between. We're glad you're here.
Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode.
Like what you heard, leave us a review and share it with your coworkers.
Got a case you want us to cover or office drama that feels criminal? Send it to us at coworkers.crimepodcast@gmail.com or check the episode notes for all of our social handles. Until next time, coworkers.
Stay curious, stay safe, and stay caffeinated.